SpeakuP Monday here, episode number 481. Tonight is all about Bali Battlegrounds, and Bali is not a battleground, though DJ will have another description for that later on. But we're talking about a very powerful event, which is raising money for a great cause, which is Educate Bali. And it's showing some of the best of Bali, actually, in a 2-day obstacle course for individuals as well as teams. And then on day one, to kick us off, will be a beautiful royal dinner at our brother Erawan, and he is Puri Anya Krambatan. So that will take place on the 4th of July. That will kick proceedings off, and you are welcome to join us. There is obviously a fee for that because it's going to Educate Bali, a great cause. Now that dinner will have a special guest that we can't call a special guest, but if you're here in Bali, you should really come and meet this guest of honor, right? Now, if you look at the PR, which will be coming out after this, you'll realize who we're talking about, but we're not going to mention it yet, just to keep you in suspense. So, my guests, we have our brother DJ, who you would know very well from the Right Reasons, right, funding, for the Right Reasons funding. Now, DJ, we've been working together for 3 or 4 years, and it was, Bali Bersama Bisa, coming together with Bim Bim and Nev, another incredibly important charity initiative here in Bali. That was the Lisa Hotline, mental health, the first hotline of its kind in Indonesia. And again, we do the Freedom Summit every year, which you can explain a little bit more about later on, which is another great thing to do. Keep you fit, raise money for charity, and also keep your karma in good balance as well. And then tonight's the first time or the second time I've met Glenn. We're going to find out more about Glenn coming up pretty soon. But look, let's maybe get this started. So Bali Battlegrounds. So let's start with you, brother DJ. So people may be wondering, Bali Battlegrounds, what is it? Where did it come from? And why is it important?
All right, the first thing I would say is Bali Battlegrounds is Indonesia's largest obstacle course race to date. So as we can see, for those that live here in Bali, there's a whole new obsession. Any given morning, if you wake up with the sunrise, you can find hundreds of people shirtless out running these nice. Needless to say, there is an obsession with running, and I would like to believe that Bali potentially is one of the places that has the fittest people on earth. And as you mentioned, working with Erawan and Kerambatan, the gorgeous area of Kerambatan itself is already a selling point for any run. And then I came across Educate Bali. It would have been last year, about mid-year. These guys with a beautiful mission, a bunch of young Scandinavian men doing great work here in Bali, both for the people and for the kids of Bali. And together we came up with this idea. And I said, all right, let's make it a reality, and I think we've really established something good that people in general that would live in Bali, they would underestimate to the professionalism and scale that the Bali Battlegrounds is about to be.
Just before we go to Glenn, so let's get it just out front, out of the way. So as you mentioned, there's a few different aspects to this. So you've got 2 days of obstacle race, individual and a team, and we've got the royal dinner at Purianya Krambatan Tabanan on the 4th of July. So are there any spots left for those who want to compete? If so, how do they sign up? And what kinds of people, what kind of crazy people, which I call crazy, but of course just fit people, but you know what I'm saying. What kind of fit people have signed up, and why did they sign up actually?
All right, so we have people from all walks of life. I would actually say you don't have to be that fit. At the end of the day, it is for charity. The obstacles are user-friendly. So basically, if you want to come out and walk 5 kilometers and climb some nets, get wet, get muddy, and make a difference for the kids, Bali Battlegrounds is for you. If you want to come out, sprint 5K, fly, and have something to prove in the sense of running, Bali Battlegrounds is for you as well. So I think is up now. We're a bit over 100 people registered, so there's still plenty of slots. Singles division on Saturday, July 5th. Team division, that's teams of 4. So you can do men, women, or mixed. On that mixed, we're looking for 2 guys, 2 girls. Yeah, so you can join by yourself. You can join with the team. Just come out and see you on the Battlegrounds. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, if you pass that mic to our brother Glenn. So now, Glenn, I've only just met, right? But I got to say, straight off the bat, he's got the crazies in him. If you look at his eyes, a handsome guy and all the rest of that. But when you look at his eye, you see this crazy thing going on. Now, what he just said to me was, when you were explaining, you can either come for a walk, fly over, not fly over, but just climb a few ropes, get a bit muddy for charity. And then he said, or you can just come, run, sprint, fly over obstacles. And then Glenn said, that's me. Now, here's the thing why he's crazy. He's probably broken his toe already. So there's his 2 toes here he showed me are probably broken already. But I know he's still going to do it. No pressure, by the way. But I know he's still going to be the guy flying around and flying over obstacle courses. And then after that, he'll probably put some tablets in his mouth and say, I'm in a lot of pain right now, but that was great. Let's do it again. So look, Glenn, again, know very little about you as people watching here. So yeah, I would say 2 questions. So one, whereabouts are you from? And then number 2 is, I said crazy. Now, that may not be true. On the other hand, it may be entirely true. But if I did say to you, where did this competitive, crazy spirit come from that I believe you just might have, what would you say? Like, where did it come from?
I have an older brother.
Got it.
No, I have the feeling like when you're the little brother and you're always...
Give me 1 second. Good. Is this mic on? Yeah, microphone's on a bit close to your mouth as well.
Yeah. Okay. So from my point of view, when you're just 1.5 years apart with your older brother, you always have that competitiveness at home. Like, no, he is stronger than you. No, you are stronger. You are faster. And I think that's where my competitiveness comes from. And I think I translated that a few years ago into my sports because I really like to do sports, and that made me, trying to go as fast as possible in marathons and. What else and what more?
Hold on a second. I remember when I used to do 100s when I was young. I was fast. Then 200s when I got a bit slower. 400s, 800s, 1500s. Right. I stopped after that. Now, with the 800, it's very difficult because 400 is like a sprint, but the 800s became like a sprint in the end of it. And 15s, you're coasting for a few laps, but then you're sprinting as well. He just called a marathon a sprint. I just caught his word, marathon sprint. I haven't got that far, right? So you run marathons as well, and so how do you approach it from a mental standpoint?
From a mental standpoint, basically,
you just acknowledge that it's gonna be very hard. You're gonna suffer, and you're gonna hate your life, especially the last 10 kilometers. It's not gonna be enjoyable, but the feeling after completion, you're gonna be like. Hit it, and that's the reward. And if you focus on the reward instead of the process, and I mean, like if you do a marathon, you train for it, you're ready, you can do it. It's that easy. If you're prepared, you can do it. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Just 1 foot after the other, and you go to the finish line. But train well, because I have one friend. He didn't train, and he tried a marathon, and he didn't walk for 5 days, and he said, like, I want to run ever in my life again. Don't do that. Don't do that.
What I love about sport, well, Christian. So what I love about sport, right? Being a sports person, not so much now, but before, I find that sport is a microcosm for life. So the same challenges you face playing basketball, whether it's an individual sport, which is a little bit heavier on the mental, or a team sport like basketball, the same challenges you face on the court is the same challenge you face in life. So if that's true for you, true for you, and you mentioned before about the marathon and preparing for it, right? So what do you take from your competitive sporting mindset? What do you take into your life to deal with problems or challenges that you face? What would you say?
For me, I think it's the discipline to be consistent. because I think showing up every day, day after day, when it's hard. Because don't get me wrong, I just completed my first 70.3 Ironman, and I've had weeks there I was like, it was very hard to get out of bed to do my training. It was very hard because after weeks of intense training, the exhaustion accumulates and you just get overall tired and you don't want to do anything and you also don't want to work anymore. But if you then have the discipline to still be consistent, and if you translate that to your work, I think
sky's the limit for anyone, and you can make any business into a success if you have that kind of discipline. So I think that's one of the most important parts for me, why I'm so driven about my sports, because I'm trying to translate that in the work I do.
You know, the interesting part, pass it back to DJ, because I can see, you know, when someone's thinking and their eyes glaze over, not in a bored way, but in a way of like he's reflecting. If I asked him that question, what would he say? That's what I think he's doing. So in a second, I want to get your response, but I just want to put someone under a bus because I can, right? Satyam. So this fella over here is a high performance coach that works with athletes. So it's just interesting that he shows up at the same time when we're talking about mindset. So he's a guy you're going to have a chat to later on. But DJ, so how would with those questions to you, how would you answer those?
Can you repeat the question again?
Sure. So one is about the mindset, right? So what we're saying with our friend over here, Brother Glenn, is that, you know, he approaches marathons in a certain way of preparedness, right? Is that if you're not prepared, don't show up. He comes with an idea and understanding that the last 10 kilometers is going to hurt like hell. Expect it. Don't think you're going to get through clear, right, without any pain. So by doing those two things, he's already set himself up in a way for success. And then what I asked him was that taking in, you know, that life is sport is life analogy, how does he take that into solving challenges that he faces in his life?
Yeah, okay. So a philosophy that I found that really just speaks true is train hard, race easy, right? If you train hard enough, when you get out there to race, it's like, all right, here we go, right? And I could use that experience. About a month ago, I did High Rocks Bangkok, and when I was out there running the laps, that's exactly what I was thinking, because I was able to perform much better than I anticipated without that physical pain, right? Now, for me, I think you hit it on the head. Consistency is the key, right? Now, in saying all this, I think at some point, at least for myself, I have to remember that life isn't only sport, life isn't only work. I need to take a step back and also be easy on myself sometimes, because I come with conditioning where I can push myself way beyond my own limits, both in the training and in the race and in the work field. So there has to be a healthy balance that comes along with it, right? It can't just be that I'm going to win the race, right? I have 2 young boys, I have a wife, I have a business, I have all these things. And if I put the race before the things that are important for me, everything else suffers, you know?
How do you strike the balance?
Yeah, good question. Asking the wrong person, honestly. It's a fight for this guy. Maybe Glenn would have a better answer for that one.
You know, like, this is the funny thing, right? Because we don't rehearse, right? So we go in with what is, and that's the honesty and the true part of it. But again, Satyam, we're coming to you for the balance later on. So look, one thing I want to quickly hop back to, in case you're just tuning in now, we're talking about Bali Battlegrounds, which is taking place 4th, 5th, 6th, and
4th, 5th, and 6th.
There you go.
3 days.
I was going to add another day to it. 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's taking place in Tabanan. Beautiful part of my favorite part of Bali, actually. Day 1 is July 4, which is a royal dinner at our good friend, the King of Kerambatan, Erawan, Purianya Kerambatan. Now, just to give you a bit of background, so Purianya Kerambatan is one of the only Puris still in its original state. Hundreds and hundreds of years old. So a lot of Puris, which were from that same era, became hotels, began to change their dynamic in order to facilitate the operation that they're now basically fulfilling. So Purianya is one of the only palaces in its original state. Number two, so his dad, incredible guy, who I had a good fortune to meet as well. I've been working with him for about 5 years. This is why I know quite a lot. They were one of the first to open their puris to Westerners. So you had people like Mick Jagger, Rolling Stones, King Hussein of Jordan, Whitney Houston, a few others, very high-profile people, which kept going back again and again and again each time they came to Bali, for the simple reason that they found something there, which of course Bali has this magic. But in that particular place with that particular frequency, they found something quite special there. So they kept on returning. Now, over the years, there's been a few of us, I can mention names, which I won't right now, which have worked hand in hand, side by side, with Erawan, because we found that he has been extremely open to how is it that Westerners like us can find ways to get closer to the Balinese culture, to understand it, to be a guest, and also to take part in it, right? So one thing which I did, which I'll never forget, I was co-emceeing, check this one out, his father's ceremonial cremation. That's 8 hours. Now, where I'm from in the UK, when someone passes away, what do? You have a funeral, you have a wake where everyone gets a bit, merry, right? And you remember the good parts of that person, and then it's a party, right? Sorry, but that's kind of what it is. This 8 hours, and you're talking all the different earth, air, fire, water elements come into this. Fire for the burning of the body, air, water, earth, and it goes on for the whole day. Now, I would have thought, I didn't realize it, a bit like the guy who ran a marathon, I didn't know what I was saying yes to. I didn't know. Then when I was like 4 hours through, walking down the street, holding this massive steeple where his dad's body at, and we're walking through the streets of Tabanan, ducking lampposts, avoiding holes in the road, like the things that you would never think about. Right? I realized that this is going to be a long day. But the interesting part, we ended it in the water, in the ocean, right? But I was never tired at any one point in time. There was dancing, there was singing. It was phenomenal. This was thanks to Erawan. The last thing I'll bring up, and then we'll move on. So the former Minister of Tourism, a guy called Santiago Uno, who you will all probably remember, great fellow. So we organized, it was supposed to be high profile investors, right, or wealthy investors in the area of Tabanan, a private meeting with Santiago Uno to talk about challenges facing investment in Bali and Indonesia and so on. So because it was the first time which he had come to the Puri and I think Tabanan, then it turned into an official event with thousands of people. The whole town surrounding villages came, but another phenomenal event, right? So these are the sorts of things that we've done at the palace, including royal dinners like the one we're going to have. But again, it's a really opportune moment that if you're interested in Balinese culture, if you're interested in seeing a palace in its original state, 400 or 500 years old, it's really important that you come and support a really good cause. Now, I'm going to shift gears to Educate Bali, right? So you can talk about Educate Bali, my brother. So what is Educate Bali? What does it do? And why is it important?
So Educate Bali is, we are
kind of a startup charity. We started about a little less than a year ago, and one of our goals is to supply all the schools in Bali with quality English teachers and books, because Bali just maybe in Jambu, with Jambu Community School, they have proper good teachers, for example. But if you go to where I live, Janidasa, or to other more remote places in Bali, they don't have proper access to proper English. And if you learn English, you can work easier in tourism, and you have better chances in private. So I think that's one of the goals in Educate Bali. I think one of the missions is like reach all the schools that are in need of help in Bali within 5 years. So that's one of the, it's a big goal, but yeah, I think like with consistency and discipline, nothing is inachievable. So it should be doable, because you got to dream big, otherwise you don't reach anything, right? And that's also a message we want to give the kids. And we don't only supply them, for example, with school books and teachers, but we also go there. Like we have a run club here at Bali Battle Academy, and that's what we do to create awareness and include the community. And then once a month we take like volunteers from the community and we go to the school, so the kids see the value in actually practicing it in real life with us, because otherwise they don't have much interaction with Westerners where they need to speak English. So I think that's for Educate Bali the main reasons for what we do. And we work with a group of volunteers. We only have the teachers that we hire that are paid employees. For the rest, everybody is just volunteering. And I think for me the underlying value is we want to normalize giving back to Bali and normalize contributing to charity. Because there are so much young people here, like what he said, like my business partners, they're all young guys trying to make a business, but we're trying to make a business with a purpose instead of just profits for yourself and live well. Because I see that's what most people do in Bali, but they forget to give back to Bali. And I think that's the biggest mission for me personally, that I want to make it popular to contribute to charities. I want to normalize giving back. And that's how I got into contact with DJ with last year's Lapathon, an event he organized for children's rights. Maybe you're familiar with it. And there, we came in last minute and we managed to raise quite a significant amount of funds. And then we got in closer contact and we're like, let's work together, let's do more. Let's make our footprint bigger as well. So that's us, that's Educate Bali, a group of young kids trying to give back to Bali and make a change.
Thank you, my brother. So DJ, in all our years, I don't think we've spoken about this, which is about you, mate, because you know, he's always managed. I just realized when you were talking, I was like, hang on a second, that DJ avoided all the questions in the past about the personal stuff, right? So what it is like this, right? So you do a lot of things for charity. You bring a lot of charities together. And you've created a system whereby it's like a platform where other charities from around Bali can basically come to you and be recognized, right? Through you teaming up with wonderful people like Glenn here to create interesting events, which then instead of, I guess, I'm not sure that there's a normal way to raise money, but what I've noticed with you is that the things that you do are very engaging, and it gives people something else. So I'm running for charity, but then the something else is that I'm kind of getting fit because I've trained to get there, right? So all the events that you've done, it seems to be a multiplicity of inputs which are favorable to everybody. So my question to you then is, tell us a little bit more about Right Reasons funding. Why did you bring it together? What gap did you see? And what brought you to the whole charity arena? Because I don't know that story.
Okay, so first, if I rewind the tape back to 2016, I was given a golden opportunity by Bo Holmgren, who's a man we both know. He started a foundation here, and he taught me a lot. Yeah, and so during the wake of COVID, I seen that I could be of use for smaller organizations such as Educate Bali, right? And the gap that I seen is that something like 90% of charities fail, and why they fail is like when you need a professional staff, such as a marketing representative or an event organizer on your team, they're going to cost a lot, right? I mean, marketing here in Bali is one of the most sought after skills by the tourism industry. So now me as a charity, how am I going to pay this marketing representative? How am I going to pay this videographer, the web developer, the event organizer? These people are not directly making the impact, right? We still need to pay the teachers, yeah? So as a startup NGO, it becomes impossible to have the right skill set behind you on a daily basis and to make the impact, right? So Right Reasons fills that gaps for the charity. So we are their marketing team, we are their web developers, we are their event organizers, we are their project managers, and we can oversee what they're doing. And when I started, basically I just wanted to make an impact and help causes, because at the end of the day, with the question that we mentioned earlier, like where is balance, right? Definitely struggle with that. But if at at the end of that day, I'm able to look back and I'm able to see hundreds of young girls that I've provided school for. I'm able to see thousands of people that got help from our mental health services. I'm able to see the community centers we built. I'm able to see all of this. It validates what I've been doing and why I don't have that balance, because at the end of the day, these kids, these people, they deserve the chance that I've been given. And when I was given it, I took it for granted, and these days I don't want to take nothing for granted. I want to pass along that opportunity to those who are less fortunate than me. And I think Educate Bali is a great way of doing that. One thing Glenn failed to mention, inside of the group of Educate Balis is a group of young entrepreneurs who have done very well independently, and they have a skill set to succeed in business, which is something I look for in a partner with Right Reasons, because if 100% of the workload comes back on us, so you talk about project management, so if I'm doing the marketing for you, I'm building your website, I'm managing your team, but I also need to make the impact for you, then it becomes a problem, right? Because now I'm basically operating your charity 100% for you. That I cannot do. A charity should always come from the heart, and somebody needs to be that heart. And within Educate Bali, there's a lot of hearts and people who are, as you said, on a volunteer basis, giving the best they can. And I know for a fact Educate Bali has a bright future of making a difference, especially, I want to say alongside us, but at the same time, it's like, I believe you guys can do it with or without us, which is the important thing of any partner with us.
One story comes up. It's a quick one. There's a lady called Bonnie Ware. Bonnie, BRONNIE space Ware, WARE. So she's a nurse, or was. She's still alive, but she's now doing other things, I think. So when someone like a hospice, so where people go to die, right? Basically, they've been given a terminal. You will die within the next 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, whatever the time. They go to a hospice where essentially it's their last days. She worked there in the UK for a long time, decades, and once that person had come to terms with the fact they're going to pass, she asked him a few questions. One of those questions was, is there anything that you regret about your life? Right? So remember, they're at the end of their life now. 90s, 80s, 100, wherever they are, but they're at the end. And so she created a whole series about it. It's called Regrets of the Dying. So you can go and Google this. It's a speaking series. It's a book. It's a number of interviews. It's a whole thing. Now, I won't go through all of them, but there's a top 10 list, regrets of the dying, right? Number one, right? Now, most people think, is it money? Is it this? Is it that? No. The number one, the highest regret of the dying, right, is this, to this effect. I wish that I did what I wanted to do, not that which other people wanted me to do. So in other words, I wish I had the courage to follow my own convictions of what it is that I want to do, as opposed to listening and allowing other people to dictate to me what I should do. Very, very powerful. There was another one about, I wish I would have worked less, that was in the top 5 from memory as well. But it's very poignant, right? Because again, what you two are saying is that, you feel called and you feel driven to do this, right? It's something from somewhere that you have to do this. And I was sitting, this is 481 episodes, about 1,000 plus people. It makes me smile, right? Because where you sit or have sat, have come many others which have the same conviction about what it is that they're doing. Whether, regardless of the industry, regardless of their age, their background, their Indonesian, foreign, doesn't matter. And so again, 3 things. People inspire people. Unity in diversity, entrepreneurship and social impact. These are the 3 things that SpeakuP Monday stands on. So I just want to acknowledge both of you for being that you stand for, that you speak, and that what you actually put into action. And that's not so easy sometimes. To talk a good game is one thing, but to actually show up and do it on the days when you got 2 broken toes, to run around the course, no pressure. to run around the course, fly over the obstacles. It's like, well, that guy's got 2 broken toes. But again, much respect. So look, let's quickly talk about, so we've spoken about the royal dinner that people can pay for and just go to the royal dinner alone. Now, what about if they want to compete? So what are the prices? How does that work?
All right, so again, I feel it's open to everybody and anybody. I mean, we will not have a cutoff time, but we will have a safety team, if that makes sense. So if you want to walk around the course, you're able to do that. So a single ticket entry is 500,000 rupiah. That includes your t-shirt, some beverages and stuff along the way, and your ability to conquer the first obstacle race in Bali, and I believe the biggest in Indonesia. So that's on Saturday. And then on Sunday, you can do it with a team. So a good way to connect with your friends, your colleagues, whoever you can round up, whichever victim you can find, let's say, to join you along this course. But I remain confident that this race itself is potentially the funnest thing that you're going to be able to do on the island of Bali over the course of this entire summer. And I remain confident that people are going to come out onto the course. They're going to be surprised by the quality and scale and the natural beauty of the route. I actually see this because we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're talking about Educate Bali. A lot of times when I get into these things, you know, what to say, a gala dinner here or an event there, when I come back next year, it's like I'm starting again. Right? I'm starting back from zero. I think this is one of very few events that I've done where we're not going to start back at zero. We're going to start back at nearly complete, right? Because the obstacles are quality, they will last years. So to do this again next year at the beginning of dry season, you can count on it. And through the visibility that we'll create through this time, July 5th and 6th, I know that people will want to join. We really are creating something unique. Bali has its own unique offerings through its natural beauty. We add in Educate Bali in a great cause, it's going to grow. And I look at some of the other races and things that have happened alongside, basically since I've been doing Right Reasons, that have grown into thousands of people joining, waiting lists to get onto the race. I believe this has that kind of potential, but people just haven't seen it yet. So now is your chance to get in for a cheap price, support a cause, and it's going to be epic. That's basically the bottom line.
And you know, if you're an influencer or just a person who is moved by what is being said, go on your social media, press share, and just share it to your community, right? Go on your Facebook if you still have it. I still have Facebook. I think I'm laughing because I know it's a generational thing, right? So if you go into a room where there's like a 20-year-old up to like a 50-year-old who has Facebook, the 20-year-old is not going to raise their hand. So whenever I say Facebook, I'm maybe speaking to a certain core part of that community, but it doesn't matter, right? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever the channel, like share it, right? Because again, it's not for everyone, but for the people that it's for, they would appreciate you letting them know, so they have an opportunity to come in and take part and to participate. And if you just want to come and support someone who's participating, they can do that, right? 500K?
No, so to come and watch is free. So you can come to the Puri itself on Saturday and Sunday. We'll have market there. That will be where participants start and finish. We will also have available like QR scans that show you where obstacles are on the course, where you can go to certain obstacles and watch the athletes as they attempt certain obstacles. And I believe there'll be 2 or 3 standout obstacles that people would want to see. So just come along, even if you're not engaging as an athlete, come along and join the Battlegrounds, see what it's about, meet the people who are making a difference, and see Puri Anwar Karambaton on top of it. Meet the royal family. there's a lot on offer over the weekend. So I would just say come out and be a part of it.
Great. So you've got markets, you've got all this activation, both, again, Balinese, local, foreigner. So again, it's this Bonnick, it's this Gotong Royong, the community coming together to solve a challenge facing the community, and unity and diversity, right? Which is the things that actually unite all of us here, that I know is a frequency that runs through always, right? Which I love. So last few questions. So for you, Brother Glenn, all right, get a little bit about you, love what I hear, get what Educate Bali is about, and get what the mission is. So my question then to you, and you can take a little bit of time on this, I'll do something to give you some time in a minute, is, future facing. So what DJ's just said is that when it comes to this particular race or this particular activity, he can see, thousands scaling up over the years, joining, running, competing, supporting, and so on, right? Awesome. So when you look at the future, perhaps for Educate Bali or for yourself, what is it that you would like to see, and how can other people get involved? So it might be, for example, something that DJ doesn't know yet, but you've been thinking about this thing for the last 6 months, going like, you know what? I really want to do like a whatever it is, right, for Educate Bali, because I think this will have a really good impact. And if it doesn't, people are going to talk about it because it's that good, right? So whatever that might be for you, whatever's kind of being stirred, in about 30 seconds, I'll give you a chance to answer it. So for those of you just tuning in, we're talking about Bali Battlegrounds preview, which starts on July the 4th with a royal dinner at the Royal Palace of Purianya Krambatan, which is in Tabanan, with our dear friend, the King of Purianya Krambatan, Brother Erawan. Now, to that dinner is going to be a very special guest that we can't refer to as a special guest, which I just did, but it's okay. Now, we will let you know who that is in print over the next few days, right? So you got to make sure you tune in to Right Reasons, Educate Bali, Robert Ian Bonnick, SpeakuP Monday. But if you're here in Bali and you want to stay here in Bali for some time, you really should come to that dinner, because there's someone who you can speak to that will give you some understanding about how things work in Bali. That's all I'm going to say. It will make a lot of sense when you know who it is, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is that you can join as a supporter. So you don't pay, you just literally come in to support what the race is, what the charity is. There are QR codes that can take you to each obstacle on the course. You can go for a walk. You can support, take photos, right, of people suffering, if that's what's going to happen. Right? You can do all of that as well. There's also markets, activities that you can join, which again brings together this beautiful Balinese culture, heritage, people, right? Small to medium-sized enterprises, small, medium-sized enterprises as well, UMKM. So that's going to be there. And finally, if you want to take part in the race, there's still opportunities for you to become a competitor. And and DJ will give you the details of how to do that in a moment. So, give you a time now to answer that question.
It's actually quite surprisingly
easy to answer, because then we move back to DJ. He said, like, we want to have it next year, April again, and then August. So we want to make this event successful. The only way we can do that is with you guys, if you come participate, or even as a spectator, because we need people, right? Because to make an event look successful, you need people. And if we manage to do that, I reckon that Educate Bali will get a more widespread name in Bali. And I think that's the end goal, because I can give you an example how we are trying to make a difference. Because Educate Bali, a few of my business partners, they are from Bounty Properties, and they have a development in Chanidasa, and from that development, 1% of the revenue goes straight back to Educate Bali. And that's, for a business like that, it's just a small percentage, because you can calculate that in the margins, for example. And then it makes a huge difference for a charity like Educate Bali. And what we want to do is get our name out there and get other brands, like other hotel chains, other resorts, get on board with us. Because even though your investors don't even have to pay it, you can mark it up on the price for your client, for your guests. And I think that's one of the main goals of Educate Bali as well. That's why I said like normalize giving back. 1% of your revenue, even or 0.5%, it makes, you can change thousands of lives of kids. And we need to normalize that instead of, pocketing everything or whatever. And that's why I think they're doing such a great job. That's also why I volunteer for Educate Bali, because I got inspired and I'd like to inspire more people in giving back. And that's the goal.
Love it, my brother. If you pass the mic to DJ. So the question for you, DJ, by the way, Guzman, the third mic, I almost forgot that if you have any questions out here, we'll give you a moment to ask any questions. So DJ, for you, it is, again, what I see about you over the years, you've been very consistent, right, in raising awareness of charities, right? So what I'd like you to do is to spend some time just letting people know what other charities you're supporting at the moment, and it could be again the ones I've mentioned already, and why it's important. Okay. Then after that, we're going to go to questions.
All right. So again, Right Reasons is working with transparent, impactful foundations. So, it depends what you're into and where you would like to see your impact being made. But let's start off with first Educate Bali. So again, providing English teachers to local schools, and I believe with the correct growth, we can also look into the environmental aspect. Yeah, because as we see here in Bali, our environment is definitely suffering, and we're doing. There's organizations that are doing all they can, but if we don't attack it at the grassroots level, then I don't believe we will see real change. So I would like to see that happen. And in saying that, I work with a different organization who's both educating women and focused on the environment. Some of you guys might know Role Foundation. So ROLE, Rivers, Oceans, Land, Ecology. And that's another great thing about Glenn. He don't only show up for Educate Bali. He also did, we do a kayak race from Hyatt Hotel in Sanur to the Grand Hyatt in Nusa Dua. And
alleged winners. See what I mean? Not competitive at all.
So he did that as well. So we've been supporting Role Foundation. I think that was our third or fourth, I'm drawing a blank, but we've been supporting, it was 4, so Role Foundation now for 4 years, and I can go on a big story about that, but I won't. But the organization was struggling in COVID, and this single event helped us stay alive, and it's back to providing education, housing for 120 girls a year, bringing them out of dirt floor poverty, eventually into fair job placement. So, and then I believe you've had Nick on your show from Ragon Foundation, another charity that is 100% from the heart. He worked with me at Scholars of Sustenance, which I mentioned earlier. Great organization as well. So Nick is doing all kinds of things. So Ragam, I think, directly translates to diversity, if I'm correct. Maybe some of the Indonesian audience can approve that. Does Ragam mean diversity? Okay, well, I think it does. And so he's cooking meals and giving to the needy. He's providing university level education. He's got empowerment programs, and together we have built a community center in the middle of the trash pit. That community center is serving hundreds of families and young children of generational trash pickers. So if you're not aware that that's a thing, that's a real thing, right? So these kids, they live in the trash, and there is opportunities from another great organization, Bali Life, but Ragam's doing great work there as well, so we support Ragam Foundation. And our biggest project, which I think you know where I'm going to head with this one, is Bali Bersama Bisa. So that's
Together We Can.
Yeah, Together We Can. It's our philosophy there, and that's Indonesia's first and only professional non-for-profit mental health facility. So we opened the doors of that full scale in February 2024. It employs nearly 20 people, including full-time psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, support workers, and it's impacting over 1,000 people a month. So that's 1,000 people coming through the doors, accessing our services that otherwise would have suffered in silence, faced stigma, and potentially either suffered a long duration or taken their own lives, you know? Like, that's what mental health actually looks like when you work in the field. And Bali Bersama Bisa is something I've been working with since 2021, the very establishment of Right Reasons funding. So it's something I take a lot of pride in. The first day that, because I just fund it. I don't work directly with the people, right? I work on the marketing side of things. But the first time that I walked through the building and the waiting room was full of people waiting to see a psychologist, it brought tears to my eyes to go, this was an idea in 2021 that we thought we might be able to do something. And now here's 10 people waiting in a waiting room to get help for free. And it's our work that's done that. That's what Bali Battlegrounds is about, honestly. It's like from that event, from us going out, having fun, climbing some obstacles, playing in the mud, some kids' lives are going to be changed, you know? And we're in a fortunate position to be able to suit up, show up, crawl in some mud, physical capable bodies, mental working minds, and, you know, help those less fortunate for the right reasons.
Beautiful, brother. Brother Guzman, so we got a few questions here. We start with Carsten. Yeah.
Thank you. Is my mic on? Blah, 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 blah. A little louder. Okay, you can hear it?
Yeah, just from this speaker only, though.
Oh, okay, I can hear it now. So basically, as a question, do you have a registered foundation?
Yeah, so Right Reasons is due to Indonesian legalities, we have both. Yeah, so we have a PT, PMA, and a registered foundation. So the reason for that is I came to the end of year 2023 and I looked at what we'd been able to do, and it was donate over $1 million to Bali charities. And so I go, am I happy with the results of the first $1 million raised? And the answer was no. Yeah. So basically what we do, or the way we work now, when we do Bali Battlegrounds, the money will be held in the charity account, and these guys will go, I want to hire 5 teachers. Okay, here's the money for 5 teachers. What do you want to do next? We want to buy all these books. Okay, here's the money. So that way, because we now can offer American tax deductibility, Australian tax deductibility, and so through that, we got to hold our beneficiaries accountable, but it brings them bigger impact.
That's what I actually wanted to
target at, because that would be a great impact for companies like Telkomsel or Gojek. That it would be a tax write-off and a real big benefit to get the population education, and also have a financial benefit from donating for this specific very good purpose, because I've been in that for more than 25 years. We'll talk about it later. Thank you for answering that question.
Great question, bro. Anyone else have a question? No, you're good. You're good. All right, cool. So look, closing statements. So in about a minute, maybe less, 2 minutes, right? You'll have a chance to answer this question. I know. Most people here go like, this guy's like, tell me now. I don't need any time. It'll be instant response. Love it. So in about 2 minutes, answer this question. We'll start with you and finish with you, okay? So the question which I'm going to leave you with is, all right, got it. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention for like tonight, or just coming up since maybe DJ's spoken, that is important, or you want to reiterate? Feel free to take that time to do so in 1 minute and 45 seconds. Same question for you, brother DJ. But guys, please remember to leave how people can get in touch. Right, so drop a handle, a website, and so on and so on and so on. That will be awesome. So you have about 1.5 minutes. For you here at home, I just want to let you know that we have a few things coming up. So next week, so for those of you here in Bali would have heard of Okay, Bali Wellness and Beauty Expo. It just took place for 3 days in Meru. Which is a beautiful venue, mamma mia. So the organizers of that, the founders of that event are the Malali Group. Wonderful people. The two founders, incredible people. We're going to have one of them who will come on next week's show. Now, this has been set up by Health Hub Bali, which, as you know, Health Hub Bali is a health tourism initiative of which I'm a part. And so we've done 40 episodes the first Monday of every month when it comes to that collaboration. So this is kind of part of that. And we'll be setting the scene for next year, going on to what has happened this year, because it was a massive success over these 3 days. So they're going to be here. Then I think the following week will be for those of you in the AI commerce field. So we're talking about the first AI commerce revolution. The largest one in the world will take place here in Nusa Dua in mid-September. So that episode will kind of kick off proceedings, right? So in other words, for those of you who want to earn money online, right? For those of you who want to up your game from e-commerce to AI commerce, you need to come, because this is where the future's at. E-commerce is all about large companies, right? AI commerce is about the individual, right? So it's very powerful, right? So make sure you come. That's in 2 weeks' time. So next week, Malali Group. The following week, we have the AI commerce revolution here on SpeakuP Monday. Thanks to Brother Guzman, who's done everything as usual, from the posters, flyers, artwork, recording on multiple devices at the same time. Love you, my brother. Thank you very much. Tropical Nomad, our technical partner. And thank you for all of you who came tonight in the audience. Much appreciated. We'll have a chat afterwards. And those who are watching on replay that has the most views, looking forward to seeing you soon. All right, thanks to the guests. Whew, Bali Battlegrounds. What a great initiative. Thank you so much, guys, for doing that, and happy to be a part of it. And this is going to be something that's going to happen year after year, just like Bali Bersama Bisa. Looking forward to it. Now, the final question, feel free to answer. You first, Brother Glenn, followed by Brother DJ. Thank you.
I think I'm gonna answer one of your questions first, where they can find us. Well, obviously on our Instagram pages, Right Reasons Funding. As for DJ's company, we have Educate Bali, educate.bali, but we also have eb.runclub. So we have every Monday, 7 a.m. at Bali Pedal Academy, we do a run club, 5 kilometers easy or 2.5. It's friendly, everyone can join. And yes, we are raising funds, but I think one important thing that DJ forgot to mention is, yes, you can participate by running, which is the best way, of course, with the charity dinner or as a spectator, but you can also donate. Don't forget that part, because we're a charity and charities live off donations. So even if you're too scared by the battlegrounds, you're like, oh, I cannot do those obstacles, you can still donate. And I think that's a very important part. And last but not least, if you show up to our run club on Monday, you will also get information about what we're doing, because of course it's summer holiday now, so we give the kids a break. But coming August, when they go back to school, we will have events in East Bali at their schools, and then you can actually see with your own eyes what we're doing and how we're helping these kids. Because what DJ mentioned, like, we don't only focus on English teaching. English teaching is our base, it's our core, and that's our start. But we have events, we play with them, we do outdoor activities, and we also educate them about pollution and other important things we need to educate them on. So come to our run club, get inside information, and join our monthly events and see how we're helping the kids in East Bali.
Run Club. Can you give us that handle again? Because I didn't get it before. So how do people find the Run Club?
So we have educate.bali on Instagram, and we have eb.runclub. Okay. So those are our handles. And also there you can find all the information to participate in the Battlegrounds.
Beautiful. Pass on to Brother DJ. Last but not least.
All right. First, thanks for having us, Rob. Thanks, Guzman in the back, for all the tech support, and thanks all you guys for attending. Yeah. So, as Robert's mentioned, Right Reasons Funding, we've been doing this for a few years now, and I think we've been able to show that we can be what I would consider Indonesia's leading impact maker. You hear a lot of people talk about making an impact. We leave results. We build buildings. We show exactly what we're doing. And so as Rob also identified, like a lot of the times it's a physical challenge. So something I believe in is everything great happens on the other side of your comfort zone, you know? So I'm sure not a lot of people are going to like it when they hit obstacle number 4 or 5, and it says climb under the bamboo through the mud, you know. But when you come out the other side, you're gonna have a smile on your face, and you're going to go, wow, that was pretty cool, you know, as you get the feet moving again. And that's exactly what our events bring to you as an individual, but for the community and for the people less fortunate. You can see also by putting yourself in that uncomfortable position what you're able to do for others, you know. So I think that's basically it from me, and it's just a big thank you for having us, and look forward to seeing you on the Battlegrounds.
Round of applause. Educate Bali, Right Reasons Funding, Bali Battlegrounds, July 4th, 5th, and 6th. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week.